In today's movement flow, we are going to be lengthening and decompressing the body. This flow is especially good if you're feeling tight or compressed in one of your hips or one of the front abdominal regions. We're going to be stacking the skills of pressurizing the hips, decompressing the upper body with breathing techniques and organizational kind of alignment work. If you've got pinching in the hips or some low back pain, this might not be for you. It's for somebody who has a really strong idea how to pressurize their hips on the ground, how to use their breath to elongate their spine, and then has an understanding of how to stack themselves well. All you need for this workout is the ground and maybe a support stick or a wall. We're gonna start in this low seiza position. We're gonna set our decompression breathing just for a few rounds of breath cycles. I have today this Kensui vest that's going to help me with my decompression breathing. You can also take the outsides of your hands and put them on your rib cage with your elbows wide. We're going to breathe into our hands and into the back space, feeling the back of our rib cage pull open. So in an inhale with our nose, find that expansion. On your exhale, we want to exhale through the belly, but still get long. Let's do that for 3 more cycles. Inhale, expand into the back of the rib cage. Exhale through the belly. Still getting longer. 2 more times, big inhale, feel the expansion in the back space. And last breath, big inhale. And really long exhale through the mouth. We're going to continue this decompression breathing cycle throughout this entire flow. We're going to start on the ground and do some groundwork on our tummies. Then we're going to go into all fours, get into our hips, and then we'll take it to standing. So let's get ourselves comfortable on our stomachs. The first thing that I want you to do on your stomachs is to take your feet, point them in, and toes go towards your head. Heels move away. So we're taking all of our legs and we're internally rotating them and creating nice energy pressure wide, getting into the deep corners, internal torque of our hips. Once we have that, we're gonna use the ground to feel our rib cage, our bellies, our abdominals, and our pelvic position. And we're gonna make sure that we're stacked nicely. We're not looking to be super open, flared out with our ribs, but everything nice and compressed with that internal rotation of our legs. The next thing we're gonna do is take our nose, and we're gonna pull it away from the ground. Once you find your nose to pull away from the ground, then take your throat and pull your throat away from the ground. Once you have this position, we're going to breathe in through our nose, do that decompression breathing. Big exhale through active abs. Big inhale. Big exhale. Few more times. I'm reaching the crown of my head long as I'm pulling my nose and throat back, exhaling through my stomach, getting longer through my abs and my spine, and feeling that inward pull of my legs. This is the general energy that we want to be moving, and we're going to slowly start to take our extremities off the ground. So let's do 1 more breath, and then we're going to take our hands off the ground. Breathe in through your nose into the back rib cage. Big exhale. Let's go to fingertips only on the ground. From fingertips only, let's find good pressure in the backspace. And let's lift up our hands. 2 more breath cycles here. Breathe in through your nose. And big exhale. Big inhale. Feel your shoulders expand. And exhale. Connect the shoulders to the hips through the front abdominals. Hands return back to the ground. This time we're going to lift up the back of our legs. Really going to work on finding those hamstrings. So let's take 1 breath in with both hands and feet on the ground. Big breath in. Big exhale. And then at the bottom of that exhale, let's float the hamstrings to the sky. Float the back of the knees to the sky. Keep pulling the toes towards your head, moving your heels out and your toes in. We're going to hold this for 3 breath cycles. Your job is to breathe, make space in your upper body, and space in your hips so they can feel more connected. Big breath in. And exhale. Big breath in. Big exhale. Last time. Big breath in. And exhale. Great tummy time work. Let's get to all fours position. From this all fours position, we're gonna do some side rockers. From the back side, all I'm gonna do, drive my knees into the ground, drive my outside ankles into the ground. A lateral shift, let's go to our right side. So let's laterally shift our hips all the way to the right. We're looking for the outside glute med, IT band, kind of this net that's gonna catch us as our hips go to the right. It's okay if our head and shoulders go to the left. Once we find that position, then we're gonna take our left knee, bring it to our right, and our feet are gonna swivel to the left. From the 6 o'clock to this 5 or a little bit 4 o'clock position. This is the working position that we're gonna do for these single side rockers. So I'm gonna rock back and open, rock back and open. My left knee is off of the ground, so I'm rocking back and I'm opening. Rock back, open. My feet go from 6 to 5 and 4, and all of my pressure is in my right hip. We're gonna do this together for 2 minutes. So start slow, and then increase the pressure and allow your hips to go up and down throughout this. Find a perfect place, engagement for your right hips. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Doing side rockers on our right side. All of your pressure should be in these right glutes. No pressure in the front hip flexors, barely anything in the quads. All of this in the hip. If you can't get in the hip, this is too advanced for you. You need to work with a coach who can teach you how to engage your glutes in the ground. But you should be able to find this on your own. With your right foot, I want you to grab it. Grab like you're grabbing sand with your right foot. Make that foot be active in this process. Keep an active foot and then go to your fingertips or to a tall palm with your hands. so most of your weight is in your hips. We've got 40 more seconds. At the end of these 2 minutes, we're going to do a 1 minute hold. "20 seconds. Last 10 seconds, so we're going to hold at the bottom of that. So rock when your feet get to the bottom, 5 or 4 in 3, 2, 1, and hold. Find that outside right foot planted into the ground, that outside right shin, outside right knee. Pull that hip back, and we're going to work ourselves upright. Left fingertips are on the floor, pulling into my right hip. Decompression breathing into the back of my rib cage here for this whole entire minute. Here we go. Continue pulling and pressing more of the shin into the mat and pulling more of your hip back as you get longer and taller. Last 20 seconds, hands off for bonus points. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Notice how I finish with my chest all the way out there. So I'm pulling my hip back and away, getting my chest to open around there. This does some really good stuff for us because we're loading into the hip, we're creating length, and then we're opening up our spine this way. It's really easy to let everything bleed out in the front, have no engagement back here, all pinching in the hips, and just kind of twist ourselves, get all junked up here. But when we find pressure in the hips, we create length and then rotate from there. That's when we're taking all of our tissue like a sponge, a Tootsie Roll, and we're just wringing it out. Some little cracks, some little getting all that tissue to be twisted in the way that it wants to be twisted with the grain of the tissue. Really good stuff. Right glute's on fire. We're going to give the same love to the left side. Big lateral shift to the left in 3, 2, 1. Find the outside lateral shift. Find the outside left glute. Bring the right knee to the left. And let's begin. Now, if you're having trouble finding your glutes, a really easy way to overcome this is putting yourself on an elevated surface. I wouldn't recommend using a stick, but this could be a table or this could be a wall if you're getting jammed up in the front hip flexor and you're not finding the back hip. Use the rest of this minute and 20 to continue breathing through the nose and decompressing. Last minute. Strong right hand and a strong left hip. "30 seconds, and then we're going to go into our 1 minute hold. So let's really load that hip, get tall on our palms and our fingers, get used to this. 20 seconds. Last 10. Slow it down, find the pressure. 3, 2, 1, let's settle that back foot, drive that shin to the ground, find as much contact with that shin as you can, and slowly pull that left hand off. Right fingertips finding that left hip, strong left hip. Hands can come off if you feel really balanced. Breathe in through your nose, decompression breathing. Here we go. Seconds. Drive that foot, drive that shin. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Beautiful. We're gonna go to standing now. So I got my support stick. If a support stick isn't accessible to you, this could also be a wall, hands on the wall. Using your hands on the wall is a really easy way to make this more of an opener rather than a strength muscle building exercise. So we're gonna start on our right side. I'm gonna take my right foot forward, pull my left foot back. We're gonna find our right hip. And we're gonna do the same thing that we just did on the ground. Pull my hip to the outside and back. We want to pull the hip to the outside and back until my foot is straight, kneecap is pointing out to the right, sternum is also pointing out to the right. So let's just take some moments here to find this right hip engagement. Most of my pressure, probably 85% of it, is in my front foot. I need this ankle, knee, and hip to be opening to my right, my sternum opening to my right as well. Once you find that, we're going to take our right ear and we're going to pull our right ear to the sky. Right hand comes to our low abdominals. This is the area that we want to create length with. Shortening it is when I pull my chest forward. So I actually want to pull my abdominals back in the same direction my hip is going. That's going to make it feel like I can take my left foot off the ground. So if you can take your left foot off the ground, we can do that, or we can hang out here for 1 minute of decompression breathing, pressurizing the hips, getting long in the torso, opening the back of our body. Here we go. Breathe in through the nose. And big exhale. Big inhale to the back of the shoulders. And big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale in, 10 seconds. At the end of these 10 seconds, we're gonna do a forward fold over this standing leg. 3, 2, 1. Keep the pressure on that backside. Continue to let everything open up to your right. Reaching for the ground. If you can't touch the ground, we're reaching for a yoga block or an object. 1 minute here, decompression breathing into your right hip. Breathing into the back shoulder space. There should be no pinching in the front of our hips. I'm continually pulling these hips back. Last few cycles. Big inhales into the shoulders. Big exhale. In 3, 2, 1. We're switching. Left side, we're finding the left hip this time. Doing that same movement if I need to, pulling everything out and around. Just finding that left hip, really pulling it back on the same line that my heel is on until my ankle, knee, and hip start to open up to the left. Spend a little bit more time finding this left hip. Once you find that left hip, let's get our left ear to be tall and our chest to be leaning over our foot, opening to our left as well. We're going to start a decompression breathing in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're driving into that hip, lengthening our torso, opening up everything a little bit more to the left. Right toes, right knee, right hip, everything should be turning inwardly towards our left. Barely any pressure into those back toes. Most of the pressure on the left outside foot driving into the ground, the left hip pulling back. Big inhale to get tall. Last 10 seconds, and then we'll make our way for a forward fold. Three, 2, 1. Always maintain this pressure in the back hip. Once you find your hands, fingertips to touch the surface underneath you, our right toes should be almost off the ground. We should be able to take them off the ground. Bring our knees together and open everything up to the left. Last 30 seconds to breathe. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Very good work. We're going to end today with just a little pigeon, loaded pigeon work. We're going to start on our right side. So let's get into all 4 position. Find our right hip. Lateral shift to the right. Pull the hips into that 7 o'clock position. Then I'm going to crisscross left over right. I'm going to keep it elevated. Make sure I have my right hip. Drive my right shin, right hip into the ground. And then we can let that back leg relax. 1 minute on the clock to decompression breathing from here into the hip, into the front of the abs, into the back of my right shoulder. Thirty seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, switch. Going to the left side. Big lateral shift to our left. Once you find the left hip, crisscross right over left. Time starts in 3, 2, 1. We're bringing the same side shoulder down, finding this pocket in our lower abs, pulling that to the sky. Imagine like if there was a blade, a knife underneath your stomach, like trying not to let it touch, pulling it to the sky, letting your head go tall and your tailbone go long. Front arm is in a corner, like you're punching the ground. So bony part of your elbow is moving away. Last 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, and time. Awesome work. Very good job. This has been Coach Bam on a little movement flow. Thank you for joining me.